Team Setu welcomes you all to the conclave of Sustainable Cities and Development. The Sustainable Development Goals or SDGs are a universal plan for all the countries to end poverty, protect the planet and ensure prosperity for all. They are a set of 17 interlinked goals. They provide a focus for the international community's developmental efforts until 2030. The Government of India is strongly committed to the 2030 agenda, including the SDGs as evidenced by the statements of Prime Minister and other senior ministers at national and international meetings. India's national development goals and its Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas or development with all and for all policy initiatives for inclusive development converge well with the SDGs. And India will play a leading role in determining the success of SDGs globally. Niti Aayog, the Government of India's premier think tank, has been entrusted with the task of coordinating the SDGs. Niti Aayog has undertaken a mapping of schemes as they relate to SDGs and their targets, and has identified lead and supporting ministries for each target. Many of the government's flagship programs such as Swachh Bharat, Make in India, Skill India and Digital India are at the core of the SDGs. Energy consumption and its associated environmental side effects pervade all aspects of our personal and public life, to the point where we have become oblivious to it. The two components of energy consumption are buildings and transportation. Roughly 40 to 50% of current energy use goes to provide energy services in buildings, with mobility consuming roughly 30%. The balance is used in the commercial and industrial sectors for the production of goods and delivery of services. We need to capture cost-effective energy efficiency options. Moreover, the overconsumption of natural resources is not merely limited to energy but extends to water, SDG 6, land use and other mineral resources, SDG 12, which are extracted at increasing rates from a limited pool and used excessively. To achieve sustainability and avert climate change, SDG 13, it is imperative to use energy and other natural resources more intelligently, which requires a significant increase in energy utilization efficiency in everyday life as well as in industrial processes and in the provision of public infrastructure, SDGs 7 and 9. The interlinkages and integrated nature of the sustainable.
Now, starting on to the first topic, Earth's tipping point. The idea of tipping points was introduced 20 years ago by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. The loss of the West Antarctic ice sheet and the Amazon rainforest, or extensive thawing of permafrost, as well as other key components of the climate system, are considered tipping points because they can cross critical thresholds and then abruptly and irreversibly change. Such a collapse of Earth's system could lead to hothouse Earth conditions with a global temperature rise of 9 degrees Fahrenheit, that is 5 degrees Celsius. Sea levels rising 20 to 30 feet, making the Earth uninhabitable. The West and the East Antarctic ice sheets are just two of the 9 tipping points, or giants of the climate system, that show clear signs that they are reaching a point of no return. Every fractional rise in temperature increases the risk of triggering one of the 30 major tipping points. With just 1 degree Celsius of current warning, 9 of these are now thought to be beginning to tip. If Earth's system crossed critical thresholds, everything we did and everything we were, the learning, the wisdom, the stories, the art, the love, and the hate, will all be reduced to stratigraphy. India is a region prone to natural calamities, and its capacity to manage disaster risk is challenged by its size and population. Now, the challenge for individuals is to be proactive for a common goal as a collective safeguard against disaster. Heat wave is a period of extreme hot weather that can last for several days. They are caused by the dearth of pre monsoon rains. Between 2000 and 2016, the number of people exposed to heat waves increased by around 125 million. Landslide is the movement of a mass of earth downwards on a slope when it becomes unstable due to the natural reasons or human activities like deforestation, blasting of rocks, construction. A cloudburst is a short term extreme precipitation that takes place over a small area. It usually occurs in high altitude areas like the northern states due to the formation of low pressure on the top of the mountain. Most tsunamis are caused by earthquakes on converging tectonic plates. They can be caused by landslides and volcanic eruptions as well. Most of the South Indian states have often been the victim of this disaster. Starting on to the next topic, food issues. Central West Africa famine. The global food problem consists of the lack of food provisions for the Earth's population. Over 1 billion people suffer from starvation and undernourishment worldwide. India is one of the countries suffering from food insecurity. About 79 million people die every year of hunger. It is a very concerning situation that over 100 million people in Africa are facing catastrophic levels of food insecurity. And the situation may worsen in the coming months, especially between June and August 2021. Thanks to an explosive mix of rapidly increasing food prices, conflict, famine, and the COVID 19 pandemic that have led to severe food shortages. This scenario is worsening day by day.
Women empowerment. Women empowerment is not only about educating women and involving them in the decision making process, but it is also about letting them make their own choices in their lives, accepting their thoughts, and giving them equal opportunities as men. Why do we need to empower women, and what role does education play in it? Empowering women is really important, not only for them but also for the welfare of communities, families, as well as countries. When women are safe and educated, then they can reach up to their high potential and can contribute towards the welfare of their country. Women empowerment in India. Women empowerment in India is dependent on various factors like as rural and urban regions, educational status, social status, as well as age factors. Though many campaigns have been organized by different organizations as well as government in order to enlighten the women, but still, women do not get equal opportunities in various fields like medical and health. They don't get equal opportunities. Also, the participation of women in politics is very low as compared to men. Women empowerment in Afghanistan. Women empowerment in Afghanistan is taking its shape. Many women realized the importance of education and have even started going to colleges and universities in order to educate themselves. Also, with the fall of Taliban in 2001, conditions of women and girls were improved. But many women's and human rights groups have shown their concern over the return of Taliban. So now we will move on to water resources. Kashipur, Jaspur and Baspur belt. Geology plays an important role in shaping groundwater scenario of any region. So it is important to understand geology of district Udham Singh Nagar. Udham Singh Nagar is divided into two formations. These are Bhabar and Terai. Both of them are characterized by distinct lithology, variation in grain distribution, as well as variation in sorting pattern. Udham Singh Nagar comes under Tarai region of Kumaon division of Uttarakhand. Its area is about 3055 km square. It is bounded by Nainital and Champawat districts of Uttarakhand to the north, Pilibhit, Bareilly, Rampur and Muradabad districts of Uttar Pradesh to the south, Bijnor district of Uttar Pradesh to the west and Nepal to the east. The Sharda River that flows forms the boundary between Nepal and India. Udham Singh Nagar has a dense network of drainage pattern. Most of the rivers that flows through it are the part of Ganga drainage system. River Sharda, Kosi, Gola and Pikka along with their tributaries flows through the district. Also, the major rivers are perennial in flow but their tributaries remain dry during non-monsoon seasons. The overall development rate of groundwater is 79.67%. Proper groundwater management is required in order to minimize the over-withdrawal of priceless groundwater.
The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, adopted by all United Nations member states in 2015, provides a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity for people and the planet now and into the future. At its heart are 17 Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs), which call for urgent action by all stakeholders to end poverty, improve health and education, reduce inequality by adopting strategies that also considers issues of climate change and preservation of natural resources. Sustainable cities are those that seek to make our cities inclusive, safe, resilient and sustainable. It calls for taking steps to simultaneously foster green, social and economic sustainability. It also calls for minimizing required inputs of energy, water and food and drastically reducing waste, output of heat, water and air pollution by all the stakeholders. As part of our constant efforts to spread awareness on contemporary issues among millennials, the Little Scholars Social Service Group invites your school to participate in our annual event on Streets for Me to be held on 2nd October 2021. This is in continuation of our earlier efforts through Swachh Bharat 2016, Utopia 2017, Virtues 2018, Clear Water Revival 2019 and Who Makes the City 2020. The conclave consists of a series of planned activities culminating to a grand finale with citations and other awards presented to the most adaptable solutions.